Obviously, very pleased to leave Lincoln with a hard-fought road win against a program that we have a great deal of respect for. It was almost two teams looking at each other in the mirror. I think we were both determined to take away the other team's leading scorers and go two guys. And I thought for the most part we did that. Bryce Williams had a heck of an effort, made big play after a hot start. Fortunately, we were able to hold our own on the glass, and we had some odd lineups out late that found a way to function and score enough points.
Dusty, I know you're kind of new to the league, but what was your kind of impression of Pinnacle Bank Arena and the atmosphere tonight?
I thought it was awesome. I walked into Davis shoot around and thought, wow, this is a great basketball environment. It's well done. And then obviously the fan support and the energy in the building. When they made their run, I don't remember, it was a few minutes into the second half, or it could have even been 5 or 6. It erupted like some of the best environments in our league. We've gotten to that point at Chrysler where our fans have had that type of impact as well. So, it forces you to call a timeout and reset. But it was I've watched these guys play on television a lot. It's a great environment. There's obviously, a lot of support and energy in the building that it's generated from the guys not on the floor.
Bryce had 18 in the first half, but you held him to 2 of 8 shooting in the second half. What types of changes do you guys do defensively to kind of limit him compared to how he started?
For the most part, we tried to deny his catches and push him off his spots more. And because we weren't in foul trouble until late, we were able to do that and not risk. He does a good job of getting tangled up and getting those foul calls. And then I thought our bigs were higher than they typically are on the screens, and we put 2 on the ball and risked those other guys banging in shots. A lot like their game plan on us.
Have you ever coached in a game like this? And if so, or if you haven't, what is the game plan for when the shots just aren't falling for either team?
Yes, I want to shout out my good friends at North Texas who we battled with for 6 years, Coach McCaslin and Coach Hodge, 2 of the best defensive coaches in the country, year in, year out. And so we've played a lot of games like this where you got to figure out a way to get a few in the hole and figure out a way to get to the line. And when you do, you've got to capitalize enough to win. But yeah, it's hard fought. It's tooth and nail, and I thought both teams had a couple good looks down the stretch, but they've exerted so much energy on the glass with the physicality, and it's not that easy to knock them down in a type of defensive slugfest. So I thought it was a very legally physical game. I thought both teams was disciplined without reaching. They put their chest on each other and really challenged everything. I thought their game plan was excellent to take away what we do well.
A couple games in a row now where the shots just aren't falling. What's the confidence like in the locker room? Is the message just to keep shooting?
Keep generating great shots. The shots that we've tried to anticipate that we would get from day one, we're going to keep shooting them. Obviously, Trey Donaldson tonight goes 1 for 4. He's a 40% three-point shooter. Same thing with Namari Burnett. Those and guys, trust me, Roddy Gale, he's making them in practice. It's going to happen sooner than later. L.J. Kaysen is the same deal. He made a big one when it counted. Will Cheddar had a couple great looks that just didn't drop. We're taking those. He's got to take. If Will can see the rim, he's got to take the shot. So we believe in our guys, and especially when they're packing the paint and they're putting basically a safety underneath the rim in the charge circle. Do you want to go in there and try to? Vlad tried to shoot a couple on 2 or 3 guys, and he made a couple, missed a couple, but for the most part, we weren't able to get much going at the rim, and you got to be able to loosen the defense up a little bit in today's climate. These guys are big.
Was that expected in the game plan that they were going to kind of zone up like that with the help side defender?
Yeah, no question. We didn't our cutting and yeah, we knew what they were going to do based on their principles. They did it probably better than we anticipated. I thought they were very well schooled defensively.
Your last 8 wins all by 4 points or less. What do you credit for helping you guys close out games like that?
I think we have an approach that's sometimes probably a little bit too loose. We try to really enjoy all of it. The college basketball is such a privilege and honor to be a part of this. And so we don't, it's not life or death every day. We want to work with great intent. And then our guys, we just try to preach a fearless approach that let's go out and our best is good enough. And wherever the chips fall, they fall. But we're not going out. We probably actually stressed too much of the end goal because we've been in this contention. And late in the year, you never know if your guys need some juice, they need some confidence, whatever the case. And so we've probably talked too much about the championship instead of just sticking with our processes.
Desi, Roddy got the start back with Ruben being out today. Can you just talk about his impact, especially late with the free throws and being the leading scorer?
Yeah, I thought Roddy was, to be honest, him flashing into the middle when we were able to break their defense down was clutch. He made a couple little 8-foot floaters. And once again, in a game like this, you've got to find enough baskets to score and to win. And he found a couple ways outside of our offense, just him making good individual plays. To me, he looked like he played with joy. He played with confidence. The ball didn't drop, but I thought he looked like Roddy again. I thought he was playing to win. He was competing at a high level.
And then the freshman coming in as well off the bench with obviously Ruben being another guard. Just talk about LJ and Justin in those minutes that they had.
You know, when you look at their stat line, I don't think it does their performance justice because, you know, obviously LJ stepped out of bounds once or whatever the case, but I thought Pip was aggressive on the glass, had a layup and a tip-in that just didn't drop. I thought he had a good open three, shot it with confidence. Same thing with LJ. Those guys are good basketball players. It's difficult to not be in the rotation, to be out of the rotation for most of the year and then be thrown into these road environments. But this game will pay dividends later for getting those guys in the flow and more confident in what they do. And then obviously we'd love to have Ruben back because he does so much for our team as well.
Dusty, can you also talk about that three big lineup? I don't think we've seen that at all this year. Is that something that was Nebraska specific, or are you going to use that going forward?
We've talked about it a lot, to be honest. And you know, today in the hotel, we told the guys, we told Vlad, Danny, and Will what the plan was and what they needed to be thinking about offensively, because they're going to be playing different positions. So basically, slides Danny to the three, and our message was that Will couldn't have any of his fouls where he just goes and clubs a couple guys for no reason, and he's in foul trouble, because we'd planned to use it before, but it just seemed like Will was either in foul trouble or this happened, or you know, whatever the case, and we just never could get to it. And so tonight we were determined to get to that lineup and look at it. And I haven't seen the breakdowns yet, but it seemed like we were sound defensively and we looked big and physical while that group played together.
Anything else? Okay, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dusty.